Hello everyone and welcome back. So in today's video we shall continue with the topic acute, subacute and chronic toxicity studies which we had started in the previous lecture. So in the earlier lecture we have seen why exactly these toxicity studies are required to be done, that is to estimate the potential toxicity of a particular chemical or a drug or a substance which is supposed to be introduced in commerce. Okay, so you before introducing any drug into the humans, you need to test whether it is safe or not. Okay, so for that matter the testing is done in the experimental animals. Okay, so these particular testings, okay, which needs to satisfy certain regulatory bodies. It may be specific for a particular country also, the requirement, the regulatory requirement. So accordingly you need to choose the appropriate type of toxicity studies which are supposed to be carried out. Okay, so we have seen what are the different aspects, why it is supposed to be done. Okay, what are the difficulties which can be encountered. Okay, we have also seen what are the different requirements of regulatory bodies, what are those different types of tests which needs to be done. So apart from the test we have also seen that the physical and the chemical properties of that particular substance also should be known, even the exposure, okay, or even its fate in the environment, that is also important for us to know what is the potential of the humans getting exposed to that particular chemical. So once it is released, how it behaves, how it is getting degraded. Okay, so that also you need to study. We have also covered the different routes by which the drug can be administered to these experimental animals. Okay, so with this brief recap, let us move to the in vivo test which needs to be done under this acute, subacute and chronic toxicity testing. Okay, so actually these in vivo tests are divided into three types. Okay, so before going into actually these three types, let us see what are basically these in vivo tests and why they need to be done. Okay, so basically here you need to administer the test compounds in vivo. Okay, that is to the living organisms. Okay, so it needs to be administered in one or more species of the experimental animal. So once you administer to either one or more species of the experimental animal, you need to observe the animal for any kind of clinical signs of toxicity, or there may be mortality, okay, in the acute test, which is usually noted for whether the death of the animal is taking place or not. Okay, so traditionally this is the basis, okay, for the determination of toxicity. Okay, now in addition to this, certain pathological examinations for some tissue abnormalities may also be done, wherein the test needs to be carried out for a longer period of time. So you expose the animal to these chemicals for a long period of time and then observe for any kind of tissue abnormalities. Usually the organs are isolated and the histopathological studies are being carried out to identify if there are any damage which is caused to these particular tissues. Okay, so usually the results of these tests are used for the extrapolation of the outcomes to the estimated hazards to the human beings. So depending upon how hazardous it is to the animals, you can estimate the possible hazards to the humans from this. Okay, so coming to the disadvantages. Now though traditionally these particular tests were being done quite popularly, but there are several disadvantages of this particular in vivo acute toxicity or subacute or chronic toxicity studies. Okay, so disadvantage is that you have to use animals for this particular studies. Okay, now again, the number of the animals which can be used for a particular toxicity studies, that also has to be restricted, because nowadays a lot of ethical issues restrict the use of number of animals. Okay, you just cannot use a large number of animals to carry out a particular test. Okay, it needs to be restricted, minimize the use of the animals. Again, it can be expensive to conduct these particular tests, and it can be even time consuming. There are certain chronic toxicity tests which even go for round about 1.5 or 2 years also. Okay, so they may be quite time consuming. So as and when required, you have to find the alternative ways. Okay, sometimes you may have to supplement it by specialized in vitro tests to support your outcomes. Okay, now coming to the different in vivo tests. What are those different types of in vivo tests which can be carried out as the toxicity studies? Okay, so these are divided into 3 types of tests, that is acute toxicity test, subacute toxicity test, and the chronic toxicity test. Okay, so as the name implies, these are the toxicity tests which vary depending upon the time of exposure to these particular experimental animals. Acute means something which is sudden to occur and short lasting. Subacute will be a little bit for a longer period as compared to acute toxicity test. And chronic toxicity test, as the name implies, chronic meaning something which is occurring over a period of time. Okay, so chronic toxicity test will obviously involve the exposure to this particular chemical for a longer period of time. So they will last for quite a long period. Okay, so we will consider all these 3 types of toxicity studies in detail. Okay, so in today's video we shall cover the acute toxicity test. Specifically, again, acute tests are also of different types. Okay, we will cover the acute oral toxicity test in today's video. Okay, so coming to the first one, that is acute toxicity test. Okay, now acute test, okay, as the name implies, so here you are measuring the adverse effects which occur within a short period of time after the administration of single dose of a test substance to your experimental animals. And usually in these particular tests, rodents are mainly utilized. Okay, so usually these tests, acute toxicity tests, these are utilized in the development of a particular new chemical or a product for which you need to estimate the potential toxicity, to identify what are the chances of that particular substance being toxic to the human beings. Okay, so to predict that, you need to carry out these acute toxicity tests. Okay, again, the information which is provided by these particular tests is also used to protect the individuals or the human beings who are actually working with these particular new chemicals, okay, who are handling these particular chemicals. Okay, so to develop safe handling procedures while these particular substances are being handled or transported or disposed of. Okay, so you will get information about its potential toxicity, okay, so that you can safeguard the use of these particular chemicals. Okay. Again, the information which is gained from these toxicity tests also will form the basis for hazard classification or labeling of these chemicals in commerce. So you all must have come across certain labels which are given on maybe certain cylinders, maybe certain tankers, or at a particular place where certain chemicals are placed. So these areas are labeled with a specific type of picture So which will denote the type of hazard these particular chemicals can produce. Say for example, these are some of the pictograms, okay, which are meant for labeling on certain chemicals or certain gas cylinders or certain areas. So it will indicate the potential hazard, okay, or category into which it falls. So here this pictogram indicates the exploding bomb, okay, explosions are possible. So this pictogram indicates that this particular chemical is flammable. Okay, so there are several categories into which it can be classified. Or this particular pictogram indicates a flame over circle. This particular pictogram indicates that it is a gas cylinder. This one indicates that it is a corrosive substance. Okay, so what type of damage or which categories it fall into, it is classified, okay, based on the testings which are done. Skull and a crossbone, it indicates that this particular chemical, it falls under acute toxicity. Okay, that is, it is categorized as 1, 2 or 3. Then exclamation mark, again it has several indications, okay, of several types of irritations. This particular pictogram indicates health hazards. So these are the different types of health hazards which are possible. And this pictogram indicates it is hazardous to the environment. So these are the different types of pictograms. Okay, so according to your toxicity studies, you can categorize your drug and accordingly it will help you to denote in the form of a pictogram, which can be reserved for a particular type of toxicity. Then, apart from these, even the data which you collect from the acute toxicity, it will also help you to identify what is the mode of toxic action. Okay, what is the mechanism by which it is producing that toxic effect. Okay. Also, it will provide information on doses associated with the target organ toxicity and the lethality. So, what is that dose which is causing the toxicity? A specific organ toxicity or lethality, that is death. Okay. So, these can be utilized for, say, additional setup of the levels for repeated dose studies. Okay. So, from these, again, the information which you get in these particular type of tests can again be extrapolated for use in the diagnosis or in the treatment of certain toxic reactions in the human beings. So it helps you to understand what are the types and how the toxicity exactly is getting produced. Again, the results which are obtained from these tests, it also helps in comparison of toxicity and dose response among different chemical classes. So you can compare, okay, the level of toxicities. Which one is more particular toxic substance, okay, when you compare it with certain other toxic substances. Okay. Again, these particular tests can also be utilized to standardize certain biological products like vaccines. So this could be another use of these information which is provided by the acute toxicity study. Okay. Now, while you carry out the acute toxicity study, the time between the exposure of that particular chemical to the animals and the actual toxicity being developed, so this will depend upon the level of exposure. So how much exposure is being done, so that will determine after how long the toxicity will be produced after the exposure. How much exposure is being done, or the kinetic parameter of that particular chemical, how it is exactly handled by the body, or the route of exposure. All these will influence the time lag after which actually the toxic effects will start producing. Okay. So with this brief background about the acute toxicity testing, let us go into the actual methods of acute toxicity testing. So these are the 3 methods of acute toxicity testing depending upon the route of exposure. Okay, so first one, as the name implies, acute oral testing. So here how will be the drug administered? We have seen the routes of administration. So obviously here there will be a short-term exposure to the animal through oral route. Next one is the eye irritation. So obviously here exposure will be through the eyes, instillation into the eye. Okay, so specifically how irritant that particular substance is to your eye, that is tested over here. Next one is dermal irritation and sensitization. So obviously here you will be applying your drug on the skin of that particular experimental animal to test whether it is showing any local toxic effects on the skin or cutaneous toxicity or sensitization, or whether it is getting absorbed systemically to produce systemic toxicity. Okay, so these are the three different types of acute toxicity testing, out of which we are going to cover acute oral testing in today's lecture. Okay, so coming to the acute oral testing. So here basically in this particular acute oral testing, the main aim of this particular study is to determine the dose which kills the half of the animals which are exposed to the particular test substance. Okay, so the main aim of this particular study, acute oral toxicity, okay, traditionally it is to find out the median lethal dose, or it is also known as LD50. Okay, supposing if you have administered the drug to 100 animals, okay, usually such large number is not utilized. Say for example 100 animals are exposed, so at what dose 50 animals will die? So that dose indicates the LD50 value. Okay, that is the median lethal dose, the dose which kills the 50% of the animals which are exposed to that particular dose. Okay. Also from this particular test you can get information about the timing of the lethality followed the exposure. Okay, so for after how long the lethality is taking place, or you may observe for certain onset, nature and severity and reversibility of certain toxic effects also. Okay, so these are the main aims of this acute oral testing. So basically here what do you find out? LD50. So this particular concept, it was introduced by this particular scientist Trevan in 1927. Okay, so initially when this particular method was introduced, usually the designs, okay, these were characterizing the dose response curve of that particular toxic substance or the substance under test by using several animals. Okay, so you need to expose certain number of animals, okay, usually at least 5 per sex, meaning 5 of male and 5 female animals. Okay, so 10 animals usually were exposed to a particular dose. Okay, and at various such doses a number of animals were exposed, and a dose at which 50% of the animals were getting killed, that was determined. Okay, so usually data from minimum of 3 doses will be required to come to a conclusion. Okay, so basically what is the outcome of this particular test? Okay, the traditional method to find out the LD50, here we could find out the dose at which the 50% of the animals were getting killed. Okay, so usually the outcome was based on the quantal response or all or none response. Okay, so what do you mean by this term? Okay, so here there are only 2 possibilities. When you are observing the animals, once you expose your animal to this particular chemical, what are you observing? Whether the animal remains alive or whether it dies. These are the only 2 possibilities, right? Okay, so that is a all or none response. Means percent of positive responses you are observing over here. Okay, how many animals are dying or how many animals are remaining alive? That's what your observation will be in this particular study. Okay, now there are certain disadvantages with this particular type of toxicity testing. First is that only there is expression of the lethality, whether the animal dies or whether it does not die. So at what dose 50% of the animals get killed. So that's the only information you get. Again, because you are testing the animals till you get the desired outcome, a number of animals will be required for this particular test. Again, the amount of information which you get from this traditional method is very much limited to satisfy the regulatory bodies. Extrapolation to the humans also is quite difficult with the data which is obtained from this particular testing. However, there are certain advantages also of this particular method. When you conduct these particular tests properly, this will yield not only the LD50 value, but also you will get information on acute effects like cause of death, time of death, symptomatology, what are the symptoms which are produced, non-lethal acute effects, organs which are getting affected, reversibility of non-lethal effects. Okay, so several information, if you observe it appropriately, you will get a number of information from this particular study. Okay. Again, information about the mode of action and metabolic detoxification also can be obtained from this particular testing. The results which are obtained from this type of test, these can form the basis for design of subsequent tests. From the outcome you can design the subacute studies. Okay, you can decide what are the types of studies or what should be your design, what should be your dose at which you can carry out these subacute studies. Okay. Again, these tests, these are useful as a first approximation of the hazards to the workers. Okay. Upon first exposure, upon acute exposure to the workers, what are the types of hazards which are possible? And mainly these tests can be completed rapidly. So these are the short term tests, acute oral tests. So it is completed within a short period of time. So it's not a time consuming test. Okay. Now, though there are several advantages with this particular test, LD50, okay, that is acute oral test, there are several attempts to develop the alternative test, okay, to classical LD50 test. That's because a large number of animals are utilized. Okay. Though it has several advantages, your main aim should be to minimize the number of animals. Okay. So in view of reducing the number of animals, or to develop procedures which, after exposure there is less stress to that particular animal. The procedure should not be much stressful to the animals. Okay. For ethical reasons, you need to use or you need to reduce the number of animals. You need to develop certain tests which are less stressful to that particular animal. Okay. So for that matter, a lot of alterations have been done in this traditional LD50 test. Okay. So for that matter, OECD, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So this regulatory body has adopted several alternative methods for determining the acute oral toxicity studies. Okay, so for which they have put forth certain types of tests, a limit test or fixed dose procedures, acute toxic class method, and up and down procedures. Okay, so these are the different types of toxicity studies which have been put forth by OECD with the view of decreasing the number of animals which are getting exposed. Okay, now usually in this method, fixed dose procedure and acute toxic class method, okay, these estimate the LD50 within a particular dose range. Okay, so you can utilize these particular tests for classification and labeling of your chemical. So in which class it falls into of toxicity. Up and down procedure, this will generate point estimates of the LD50 value. So it has a wider application. Okay. Now coming to the actual procedures of the acute oral toxicity studies. Now OECD has put forth 3 different guidelines which discusses 3 different types of procedures to carry out the acute oral toxicity studies. Okay, so the first one is the fixed dose procedure, okay, according to the guideline 420. So the main aim of this particular guideline, it is to identify the appropriate hazard class of that new chemical. So which class it falls into. And here usually this particular test, it starts at 4 different doses. Okay. Accordingly you can choose it, a particular dose as close as much as close to the LD50 value. Okay. So there are certain levels of dose at which you need to start with your study. Okay. So these are the 4 doses at which you can start these studies. Okay. 5 milligrams per kg body weight, or 50, 300 or 2000 milligrams per kg body weight. So these are the different doses at which you can start. Now in this particular procedure there is a preliminary test which is done. That is a sighting study in which only one animal is exposed to any one of this particular doses according to the choice which you make. Okay, so one animal is exposed. Now upon observation, okay, what are the outcomes? Whether there are signs of any toxicity. So if at all there are any signs of toxicity, additional animals are exposed to that particular dose level. Okay, so that total of 5 animals are exposed. Okay, so in the sighting study only one animal is exposed. And if there is toxicity, additional 4 animals are exposed to the same dose. And the outcome is observed. And depending upon that, the subsequent group of animals will be exposed to the higher or lower dose, depending upon what is the outcome. Okay, so here the main criteria for deciding in which direction you should go, it will depend upon the number of animals which are surviving, okay, or showing certain evidence of toxicity. Okay, so this particular flowchart will make it more clear. Okay. Now according to this guideline, there are 4 different doses at which you can start, right? So in this particular picture, as you can see that the starting dose is 5 milligrams per kg. Okay, so one animal is exposed to 5 milligrams per kg in sighting test. If there is toxicity, additional 4 animals are exposed to the same dose. So totally you have exposed 5 animals to 5 milligrams per kg. Now depending upon what is the outcome, whether the outcome is A, B or C will determine whether you can categorize or whether you should dose the next group of animals. Okay, now let us see what is the meaning of this outcomes A, B and C. Okay, so outcome A indicates what? If there is 2 or more than 2 deaths. If 2 or more than that animal dies, it indicates your outcome is A. So what it indicates? T plus. What is T plus? Very toxic. So it is classified as very toxic under the category of EU, that is European Union of classification. So it is classified as very toxic. Again, outcome B says what? If there is evidence of toxicity in one or more than one animals, or if there is death of at least one animal, that indicates that the outcome is B. That means again the drug is very, or the chemical is very toxic. Now supposing if the outcome is C, that means no toxicity is observed in all these 5 animals. Then what you should do? You should go for the additional dosing with the higher dose. That is again sighting test is carried out. One animal is exposed to 50 milligrams per kg body weight. You have to see what is the outcome. If there are toxicity signs which are seen in that one animal, then you should go for a dosing of additional 4 animals. However, if the death of the animal takes place in the sighting test itself, that is the first exposure, then you should not go for the further exposure. You should categorize it as the outcome is A. That means the drug or the substance is very toxic. Now supposing in the sighting test no death takes place, you expose additional 4 animals to the same dose. Now taken together all the 5 animals, what is the outcome? So depending upon that, again you can classify. If the outcome is A, that means if the death of 2 or more animals take place, it is categorized as very toxic. If the outcome is B, that is if there is evidence of toxicity in one or more than one animal, or if at least one animal dies, then it is categorized as B. Okay, the outcome is B. So the category which it belongs to is T, that is toxic. The substance is toxic. Or if the outcome is C, that is there is no toxicity seen in all the 5 animals, what it indicates? That you should go for a higher dose. So additionally 5 more animals you should expose to a higher dose, that is 300 milligrams per kg. Again depending upon the outcome it is classified. If the outcome is A, it is categorized as toxic. If the outcome is B, it is categorized as H, that is harmful. If the outcome is C, you should go for higher dose. Additional 5 animals is exposed to 2000 milligrams per kg. This is the highest dose. Okay, so depending upon the outcome, whether the outcome is A, it indicates that your chemical is harmful. If the outcome is either B or C, it remains unclassified. Okay, so it is toxic at this particular dose. Okay, so this is how you should go about the toxicity studies when you start at 5 milligrams per kg. Now your starting point can also be 50 milligrams per kg depending upon the LD50 of that particular substance. Okay, you have to choose the starting dose as close as to the LD50 value. Okay, so if the starting dose is 50 milligrams per kg, then how you can go about the test? If your outcome is A, if 2 or more than 2 deaths occur, you should go for a lower dose, 5 milligrams per kg. And depending upon the outcome, whether it is A, B or C, it is highly toxic, very toxic. If the outcome is B over here, it is considered as toxic. If it is C, you should go for higher dose. Okay, so likewise you can categorize the different drugs. So again here you can see it is started at 300 milligrams per kg. So depending upon the outcome, you can decide in which direction you have to go. In this again we have started at 2000 milligrams per kg. Okay, so again depending upon the outcome, whether it is A, B or C, you can go in a particular direction, in a reverse direction. Okay, so this will help you in categorizing the drug. Okay, then the next type of acute toxicity study, oral acute toxicity study, is the acute toxic class method according to the guideline number 423. So here the main aim is to identify the appropriate hazard and labeling classifications. Okay, even here in this particular test, it provides the range for lethality. Okay, rather than point estimate of LD50, here a range of dose which can be lethal, that is provided by this particular guideline, okay, as per this procedure. So here what is done exactly? 3 animals are exposed to any of the particular dose. Okay, either 4 or 5 doses, either 5, 50, 300 or 2000 milligram per kg body weight, or if necessary you should go for 5000 milligrams per kg body weight. Generally you should not opt for the higher level of dose unless and until it is required. Okay, now in this particular method, again depending upon the survival or mortality of the first group, okay, those 3 animals which you are exposing, depending upon the number of animals which are surviving, number of animals which are dying, you have to decide whether additionally 3 or more animals have to receive the same or a higher or a lower dose. Okay, so here the number of animals that survive or die, that will determine the classification decisions. Okay, so again over here, just like your guideline number 420, again this particular test, it can be started at different dose levels, and depending upon the outcome you can categorize. okay, as per the GHS, that is globally harmonized system. According to this you can categorize your drug, okay, as to LD50 is falling in what particular range. Okay, so when you start this particular test at 5 milligrams per kg, so you have to expose 3 animals at this particular dose. Now depending upon the outcome, how many animals are dying. Supposing if death of 2 to 3 animals take place in this, out of these 3 animals, either 2 or 3 animals die, this indicates your drug is falling under this particular category. Okay, that is your LD50 is lying in between 0 to 5 milligrams per kg. Supposing if no death occurs or only 1 animals die, then additional 3 animals must be exposed to the same dose. Okay, so totally 6 animals have received the same dose. Again depending upon the outcome, whether if the 2 or 3 animals die out of these, your drug falls under category 1. So this is the range. If no death takes place or 1 animals die, then you should expose additionally 3 animals to higher dose, that is 50 milligrams per kg. So again, if 2 or 3 deaths take place, your drug is classified under category 2. That is the LD50 lies in between 5 to 50 milligrams per kg. Okay. If no death takes place or only 1 animal dies, additional 3 animals are exposed to 50 milligrams per kg. Again, if 2 to 3 animals die, it is categorized under category 2. If no death or 1 death occurs, you should expose additional 3 animals to 300 milligrams per kg dose. Again depending upon the outcome, if 2 to 3 animals die, it falls under this category, category 3, that is 50 to 300 is the range. Or if no death or 1 death occurs, additional 3 animals are exposed to 300 milligrams per kg. Again if 2 to 3 deaths occur, it is categorized as 50 to 300 milligrams per kg. This is the range in which the LD50 lies. Or if no death or 1 death occurs, you should expose additional 3 animals to 2000 milligrams per kg. Again depending upon the outcome, if 2 to 3 deaths occur, it is categorized as category 4, that is 300 to 2000. If not, that is if no death or only 1 animal dies, you should expose additional 3 animals to this particular dose, 2000 milligrams per kg. Again depending upon the outcome, you can classify. Okay, and further higher doses should be utilized only when it is necessary. So likewise, you can start at 50 milligrams per kg. So depending upon the outcome, you can go as per the directions. Okay, additional animals are exposed to either lower or higher dose. If more deaths are occurring, you should go for a lower dose. If less deaths are occurring, you should go for a higher dose. And ultimately you will get the categorization of your drug. So this particular category is the most toxic ones. The chemicals falling in this category are the most toxic ones. So similarly you can start at 300 milligrams per kg, or you can start at 2000 milligrams per kg also. Okay. Then coming to the third guideline, that is guideline number 425. Okay, so this is known as the up and down procedure. Okay, so here again there is sequential dosing using 1 animal at each step. Okay, so you initially expose only 1 animal to a particular dose. And depending upon the outcome, whether the animal lives or dies, you should select the next dose, okay, to the next animal. So this particular type of procedure, up and down procedure, it provides a point estimation of lethality. Okay, and here lethality up to 5000 milligrams per kg can be evaluated. Higher doses should be gone only if it is the requirement of the regulatory bodies. Okay, so here the starting dose which you are using, it should be slightly below the estimated LD50 value. And if no information is available, about this estimated LD50 value, then you can start at 175 milligrams per kg. Okay, now depending upon the outcome, so once you expose first animal to a particular dose, that depending upon what is the outcome, you can dose the next animal. Okay, so you can either increase or decrease the next dose by a particular factor, that is 3.2. So supposing if you expose your animal to this particular dose, 175 milligrams per kg, and if the outcome is that the animal remains alive, so the next dose will be 175 multiplied by 3.2. So you are increasing the dose by 3.2, the factor 3.2. So multiply your dose by 3.2. So whatever dose you get, you should administer that to the next animal and look out for the outcome. So this is continued. This sequential administration is continued till there is a reversal of the initial outcome. That is a point where increasing dose results in death rather than survival, or when you are decreasing the dose. Okay, when your outcome, it says that you need to decrease. If the outcome is death, you need to decrease the particular dose by this particular factor, right? 3.2. So in that case, you should go on decreasing it by this factor till survival is seen rather than the death of the animal. Okay, so this is how the testing as per the 425 guideline is done. Now again, additional animals can be exposed to these doses depending upon the obtainment of the particular stopping criteria. Okay, so if there is no reversal before reaching your selected upper limit dose, okay, then no more animals are supposed to be exposed. Okay, so there is a particular limit dose. So if this is your limit, then if you reach this dose, no more animals should be exposed. You can't increase your dose beyond this. Okay, and this particular dose, 5000 milligrams per kg, it should be used only when it is justified by a specific regulatory need. Okay, so here generally in the limit test, up to 5 animals can be tested initially. Okay, then additionally you may go for more animals as per the requirement. So this is to do with the 3 types of testing, acute oral toxicity testing as per the OECD guidelines. That is guideline number 420, 423 and 425. Now for all of these guidelines, the selection of the starting dose, how you will select the starting dose, that should be as much as possible close to the actual LD50. So if you are as much as close to this estimated LD50, it will help in decreasing the number of animals. So also the study duration also will decrease. Also the amount of the test substance required, that will also be reduced. Okay, so as far as possible, choose appropriate starting dose where you should exactly start. It should be as much as close to the estimated LD50 value of that particular substance. Okay, so also you should take care that you have to provide all the information to the testing laboratory. Okay, you should make it available to these authorities who are carrying out these toxicity studies. Even such information like identity, chemical structure of that substance, physicochemical properties, some, if you have carried out some additional toxicity tests, okay, then what are the outcomes, okay, then toxicological data on the structurally related substances if you have compared, or anticipated use of that particular substance, or cytotoxic data, cytotoxicity studies data, that can be provided to these testing agencies. So all this information will help them to choose the appropriate testing procedure, okay, most appropriate, and to make a choice for an appropriate starting dose. Okay. So as compared with the traditional acute oral toxicity method, in these alternative tests, administration of single bolus dose is done of your test substance to adult rodents, which are fasted overnight. Now how you are administering? You are administering by oral gavage, and you are supposed to observe for the morbidity or mortality for around about 14 days. So you have to observe for the body weight weekly or certain clinical signs or even certain organ toxicities. Okay, necropsy, isolation of organs can also be done at determination. Even the animals which you are using, their age should be in between 8 and 12 weeks, and even their average weight, it should not vary by more than plus or minus 20% of the average weight. Okay, so these are some of the precautions you should observe. Again, observations which are made. Okay, after dosing of the animal, okay, you need to observe the animals for at least 48 hours in which there are chances of animals to survive. Okay. Now again, depending upon the characteristic of your substance, you may vary this particular time also. Okay, then results. The results should be analyzed appropriately so that you can make appropriate decision whether additional dose is required. Okay, whether dosing of next group of animals is required at a same dose or lower or higher dose. Okay. Even the information from every animal, even those animals which die, this is also observed and it is noted to draw the outcome from your studies. Okay. So this is to do with the acute oral toxicity studies. These are the different methods by which it can be done. So this is the reference. Thank you for watching.